YouTube, what is going on? Your boy Young Mustard is back with another video, and today I am here with my first mock draft predictions. Now, before the draft actually takes place, I will drop another predictions video because trades can go on and we don't even know if certain teams will keep some picks and things like that. So just be prepared that if things do change, because if they don't, then I just won't make another video and this will be the video y'all get. But if things stay the same, just be prepared that I will make a different video. So you guys sit back and relax because I'm here with my first mock draft predictions. Now, with the first pick of the 2018 NBA draft, the Phoenix Suns select Luka Doncic. Now, guys, let me explain first, because a lot of people are not really, understanding why I believe Luka Doncic will be the first pick and probably should be the first pick of this draft class. For one, why I believe he should be the first pick is because, one, I just don't like drafting big men as, the first pick of the draft. I don't like it because big men are just very big variables. Now, obviously, when you have someone like an Anthony Davis or Hakeem that showed promise to be an all-time great, that's different. But for someone like Deandre Ayton, he's not someone that is looked at as like an all-time great potential talent. He's not someone like that. And I just don't think he was that great in college to where I'm going to pick him as the first overall pick over players who will have more safer careers and have a little bit better upside. And though the upside for Deandre Ayton is high, I just don't see it high enough for me to use a first pick on him. And the other reason is because big men, they're big variables. A lot of them are bust and a lot of them get injured, and then you have that small percentage that actually go on to live up to that potential. So when it comes to Deandre Ayton, I don't think he's going to be a franchise centerpiece, and honestly, I do believe Luka Doncic is just a better fit for them. And for those who do not know, the Phoenix Suns actually made a outside the box decision to hire Igor Koskov this summer, and he actually coached Luka Doncic to a gold medal in Slovenia with the Eurobasket League. So it's clear that Phoenix is looking in a direction that they can make a system for Luka Doncic that is similar to the system that he played in Europe. And he's also a great fit with Phoenix's roster, and he would give the Suns an offensive initiator who could play really well off of Devin Booker. And let's be real here, even though a lot of people are saying he can play the shooting guard, he can play the point too. I mean, Devin Booker is a natural shooting guard, and I think that you could just slide Luka Doncic at the point, and I think that he would really fit well on this team. And with a team that really needs spacing and really needs to share some of those on-ball responsibilities that Devin Booker has so teams don't close in on him, I think that Luka Doncic will be a perfect fit for them. Now, with the next pick of the draft, the Sacramento Kings select Deandre Ayton. Now, this to me makes a lot of sense. I really do see the Sacramento Kings taking Deandre Ayton. One, this team loves drafting big men, from Thomas Robinson to Willie Cauley-Stein to Harry Giles, and even obviously to DeMarcus Cousins. This team just loves to pick up big men, and why not pick up the best big men in this draft in Deandre Ayton? I mean, they've really been looking for that big man that they can pick up, even though I know they did get Darren Fox last year, but a lot of people think that Harry Giles, if he stays healthy and lives up to some of that potential that he had going into college, actually, people thought he could be their centerpiece at the center position. But I do think DeAndre Jordan will be that piece. And like I said, Deandre Ayton, he's just not somebody that I think is going to be a generational talent, but the real upside with him is the offensive ability. He did score at a really good level in college, shooting over 60% from the field and averaging over 20 points a game. Rebounding wise, he can get some boards for you. So when it comes to scoring, I think Deandre Ayton will be solid. I'm not going to predict his stat line because we really don't know how his game's going to translate, but he should be at least a double-double guy. If not by his second season, definitely by his third season, because he can grab you some boards and he can score a decent amount of points, I think, on the NBA level. And I think that he will fit on this team. Spacing wise, he can develop a solid jumper from the outside, and that will be very valuable with a team that has Darren Fox as the starting point guard. So I do think that the Sacramento Kings selecting Deandre Ayton makes the most sense out of all the other teams. Now, with the third pick of the draft, I have the Atlanta Hawks selecting Jaren Jackson, the center for Michigan State. Now, there are a lot of big men projected to go at the top of this draft, but none of them can fit the modern NBA more than Jaren Jackson. Don't even let his numbers at MSU fool you. This is a guy who was a 7-footer who can hit 40% of his threes, posted elite shot blocking numbers in 21 minutes per game. If this were a big board, I think that he would be number 2 over Ayton because his skill set, to me, is just more complete. Now, obviously, DeAndre Ayton, he was on a better team, things like that, another tournament, but still, he was on a better team. He had a lot of more attention and things like that, so I think that, really puts him over it. But Jaren Jackson, 3 blocks in 21 minutes per game, he is clearly the defensive prospect of this draft, just like last year. You had Josh Jackson as the defensive player that a lot of people were looking at. This year, it has to be Jaren Jackson. And when you have a team like the Atlanta Hawks who don't really have any core defensive pieces, Jaren Jackson alone should be somebody who can really, really help this team. I mean, the guy can hit jumpers. The guy can also defend at an elite level, potentially in the NBA. And it's just a no-brainer to me. Jaren Jackson fits perfectly on this Atlanta Hawks team. Now, with the 4th pick of the NBA draft, I have the Memphis Grizzlies selecting Marvin Bagley, the center/forward out of Duke. Now, Marvin Bagley is a great fit for Memphis. He's a super athletic, high-motored offensively, 6'1" big man who posted monster scoring and rebounding numbers at Duke. Now, the concerns for Marvin Bagley obviously are on the defensive side of the ball, and with a team like Memphis, who has players such as Mike Conley and Marc Gasol, that may be a little bit annoying for those players to play with someone like that, because I think the problem with Marvin Bagley is really just he just doesn't care about defense, and he's not really interested, even though he doesn't really show that many instincts on defense. But I think the thing about Marvin Bagley, him being under the tutelage of someone like a Marc Gasol and also having Mike Conley, who's a great defensive player as well, I do believe in my heart of hearts that Marvin Bagley truly, and I mean truly, can get, just a little bit better on the defensive side of the ball to where he's not a liability. I mean, there are times in the season of college basketball where they would run zones because he's so bad on defense. But I hope that he can improve and he can just really show a bit more effort. So I think Marvin Bagley to the Memphis Grizzlies makes a lot of sense. It makes the most sense to me. Now, with the 5th pick of the NBA draft in 2018, I have the Dallas Mavericks selecting Mohamed Bamba. Now, Mohamed Bamba, this is really where it gets interesting. He is clearly somebody defensively. He has all the physical attributes to be an elite defender. I mean, his wingspan, we all know, is just ridiculous. I mean, that is a historic wingspan. A wingspan of 7 feet and 10 inches. I mean, that's crazy. And then his standing reach is even more crazier. So when it comes to Mohamed Bamba, he has the potential to be an elite rim protector. But offensively, I don't see him giving much. But I think that they really just need him, because the center position is something that I don't think the Mavericks have ever legitimately had. They tried to get DeAndre Jordan, that failed. Nerlens Noel didn't really work out too well. So I think them getting Mohamed Bamba should be a big boost for them. I mean, they've been looking for someone like him at the position for a while, so why not get him in this draft class? Now, with the 6th overall pick, I have the Orlando Magic selecting Trae Young. Now, this is going to be somebody who a lot of people are not going to agree with him going at this slot. A lot of people aren't going to agree with him going to this team. But the Orlando Magic, they've really been needing a guard that can really push them over the top. I mean, it's their fault that they're even positioned where they have to pick up a guard because Alfred Payton didn't pan out. Victor Oladipo, they basically wasted a few years up to the beginning of his career. I mean, it's clear that the Orlando Magic need a guard, and they're going to have to take a swing on Trae Young and just hope that things work out. Now, obviously, he has a lot of bust potential. I've discussed this in the last video where I talked about who the Bulls should draft, but you guys, I think he can be a solid starter, and if they re-sign Aaron Gordon, assuming they will re-sign Aaron Gordon learned how to space the floor, and if Trae Young can space the floor at a solid level, I say shoot around 36 to 38% around his career, him and Aaron Gordon, even though defensively that would not be that great, him and Aaron Gordon, that would really help Aaron Gordon get a lot more open shots. He can set up open players. I think that would really help this team. And even though I think Vucevic is putting up empty stats, I do believe you can get a solid player for him if you trade him. Now, With the next pick, we have the Chicago Bulls with the 7th overall pick. Now, for those who have not seen my past video, I thought that the Bulls should take Wendell Carter, but this is my prediction and not who I think they should get, because I am going with Michael Porter Jr. to be selected by the Chicago Bulls with the 7th overall pick. Now, Michael Porter Jr. does have a lot of boom or bust potential in this draft. He was the #1 recruit in the country entering Missouri, projected to be a 6'11" forward who could handle the ball and score from all 3 levels. His freshman year, though, was clearly derailed by a back surgery, and when he came back, played 2 unimpressive games in the season, but I'm not going to really hold that against him because 1, it's only 2 games, and 2, he was coming off of a back surgery, and we all know what back surgeries can do to players, which is what leads into the bust potential. Now, I know it's only 1 injury, but I don't know if this has been something that's been a constant theme in his career as a basketball player, and the injury is something that is a legit concern, and a lot of teams don't know where Michael Porter's shooting and ball handling ability will translate to the league and where they are even right now. But even so, his size, athleticism, and offensive potential is super intriguing enough to gamble on the top 10, and maybe a team may even grab him in the top 5, but I do think he will drop. And the Chicago Bulls, they need a small forward, and if things do work out and he does live up to the potential and the next KD, I would love for us to pick up Michael Porter Jr., guys. I'm not saying that Wendell Carter is a better player, I just thought that he would be a better fit, assuming that Michael Porter Jr. does struggle with injuries, and we all know the Bulls, you know, I don't want to see no more injuries affect this team and this roster anymore. Derrick Rose has taught me that. So, but even despite all that, I do see the Bulls taking a swing on Michael Porter Jr., and let's just hope that this works out. Now, with the 8th pick, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers, who they did get this pick by trading it with the Boston Celtics in the Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie trade. I have them picking up, actually, Mikal Bridges, the forward from Villanova. Now, for those who don't know, Mikal Bridges is basically going to be a 3-and-D player, and that's why I have him as the 8th overall pick. It's not because of the fact that he's better than some of the other players that are below him, it's just because of the fit. And I'm assuming LeBron James will stay on this team, and when you have LeBron James, what's the key thing? Spacing, spacing, spacing. And when you have someone like Mikal Bridges, who shot around 44 to 45% from the 3-point line, I think that's someone who the Cavaliers need to pick up if you're going to still have LeBron James on this roster. Now, with the next pick in the draft, the number 9 pick, I have the New York Knicks selecting Wendell Carter. Now, Wendell Carter, to me, like I said in the past video that I made about the Bulls, he has to be the safest pick in this draft. Even though you have a lot of players who have high upside, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I talked about it before, but Wendell Carter, man, I believe he can play defense in the paint at a solid level. And when you have Kristaps Porzingis, who can basically play on the perimeter offensively in the mid-range game and post up, the paint will be really good for Wendell Carter to just defend and get some easy putbacks and get some layups and easy dunks, kind of like someone like a Clint Capella. And from 3, maybe it can get a bit more consistent and grow on him a bit more. He did attempt some 3s in college a little bit, but I don't really see that being a factor, as I don't think spacing is going to be something that they need from him. But yeah, I do think they can establish the little twin towers there with Kristaps Porzingis and Wendell Carter. And as a rebounder, Wendell Carter is a really, really solid rebounder. I expect him to step up there because Kristaps Porzingis as a rebounder isn't that great, especially considering his size. But I do expect the Knicks to take Wendell Carter with the 9th pick. Now, with the final pick that I'm going to discuss, the 10th overall pick, I have the Philadelphia 76ers selecting Miles Bridges, the forward out of Michigan State. Now, I don't know if any rumors or speculation has gone around on if the Sixers are going to trade that pick or not, because I don't really think they necessarily need it. If they can trade it for just some 3-point shooter, they should just go ahead and do it. They're going to have some cap space to sign some players and things like that. So who knows? This is just a pick that I think they may just go in a direction. And if they're going to pick somebody, I do think getting Mikal Bridges will be good for this team, because at the end of the day, let's be honest here, just like the Cavaliers, when you have someone like Ben Simmons who can't space out the floor at all, because it's not even like the Cavaliers identically, I should say, because LeBron James can shoot the 3 ball at least at a solid level that is respectable. Ben Simmons doesn't even attempt them, so you need somebody who can space the floor relatively well, and getting someone like Mikal Bridges should help this team. And I just think that it's a, It's the smartest thing that they should do if they're going to pick up a player. Just get someone who fits with your core pieces. Now, that should conclude my mock draft predictions. If things change, I will be coming about a day or two before the actual NBA draft. Most likely a day, just in case something happens the next day, which would be so catastrophic. But this is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Make sure you guys comment down below if you agreed or disagreed with all the selections that I put. If you guys think I left some players out of the top 10 that should be here, let me know down below in the comment section. But you guys, make sure you follow me on Twitter. The link for that will be down below. And follow me on Twitch. The link for that will be in the description as well. Also, make sure you catch the next episode of the podcast, the Chosen Ones podcast. It will be dropping on Saturday, so you guys stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and hit the bell next to my name to be notified after each and every video that I post. Have a great day, you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.